question was exactly what was the most important thing I learned. There has to be clear communication, and you need to follow up on that. What's going on? You can't just go to work and expect your teachers and your students to have this great day and you go fishing.
Right.
Like, you have to keep checking up and looking at their papers and asking, how's John? And
do you have some kind of communication channel between?
Sure. We have paper trails and online trails, and then we have meetings, lots of meetings. So I guess it's quite time consuming. I think the way I do it, and then by the way, the way you do it, this may be different.
It sounds pretty similar.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure the details vary, but like the main idea is
similar. That you need to know when you walk into work, you need no surprises.
Right.
That's the main thing, right? If you have like a lot of surprises, like here's an example of something I never want to hear. Hey, Minsu wants to quit. Why? Minsu's missed a bunch of days, and Minsu hasn't done his homework, and he's been sad, and he had a fight, and guess what? I didn't know about it. That's a really unreasonable situation.
Right. That's a huge breakdown in the line of communication there.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you have to have all that communication, and it's kind of uncomfortable sometimes because you're over people's shoulders and you're asking them to write lots of things down, but you have to do it. I mean, I think to me that's the most important thing, to be able to look at all of that, at the end of the day, all the data, and kind of see what's going on.
Yeah, for me it's always been like when we get a new teacher, it's always like really. It's very important for me to express to them that I understand that teaching is a process, that you're not perfect at it, and that you're going to make mistakes.
Right.
The most important thing is like when you do make mistakes, please tell me about them. When the student's not happy, it's not necessarily your fault.
Yeah.
Like we can fix it, but we can't fix it if we don't communicate about it.
Yeah.
Right.
And
it's hard to keep that line of communication. It's hard to keep the relationships with the staff when you're trying to make everybody happy, and you're also trying to manage it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I know you've had struggles with, and I've had struggles with.
Sure. I mean, that's the hardest thing about opening a Hogwarts. Well, first, honestly, like an initial problem was just like. I'm sure maybe your listeners don't want to hear about this, but the sheer cost of rent and real estate in Korea. Oh yeah, and it's quite a risk if you've never done anything like that before. And
it takes a really bold person to,
it does, and it makes you have a real appreciation. Like when you see a little, like a dog shop or something. You're little lady working there at that little shop. You have a new understanding of her.
And it breaks my heart every time I see one close.
Yeah, right.
I'm just like, oh, that's someone's dream.
That was the initial, real hardship, was trying to figure out where am I going to get this money, and geez, oh my God, and wow, everyone pays this much, but then when that ended, it was definitely management, because I had no if I could change two things before I started my school, one, I would have studied Korean when I was a little kid.
Yeah, well, that would have been great.
And two, I would have taken some type of management position whenever I was working when I was young. And if I had just some kind of management experience. So I had speaking experience and I had, lots of communication experience, and I think I'm kind of good at that. But I'd never had management experience. And it is I cannot tell you how hard it is. Well, I can tell but if you've never managed people, really manage them, it's incredibly difficult, especially if you're the kind of person that feels bad when you have to tell someone something uncomfortable. Right. I wish I would have had a little practice with that.
For me, I've always been a very friendly person, and I've always been really good at getting along with people. So when I first opened the academy, I was really good at getting along with the teachers until I had to tell them to do something. Yeah, right. And then it's like, oh no, it all broke down because there's something more to it.
I still struggle with it. I mean, but not as much, but I still struggle with it. It's just hard. It's a hard thing. And then dealing with people from different countries all over the world, and natives and foreigners and different ages.
When you choose your teachers, what are the things that you're looking for? What's the most important to you?
You know what? I'm going to say it I really want someone that's fun. Yeah. And likable. Yeah. Right? And I know that sounds kind of, you know, I'm not saying they have to be beautiful, but like have a kind of a fun face and they're alive, because to me, like, you know, you ever see like on the foreign like Facebook pages, they'll have the legal pages, you know, and there's like a lot of teachers complaining about getting fired and stuff, and they'll say, I got fired because my boss said I wasn't fun, or my boss said I wasn't fun, and then other teachers will say you should quit, like that's a terrible boss, but I think they don't understand that it is an important skill to be a private teacher.
It's like, especially the younger the kids are, the more important that is.
It's incredibly important.
And as they get older, it becomes less important, but it's still incredibly important.
Yeah.
Like I tell the parents of younger students, like especially younger students, like the job of the academy when your kid is young is to get and maintain interest in English.
Exactly, right.
Because it's a marathon. They got years and years and years and years. The older kids, like if you're starting English when you're in middle school or something, like it's still important to be motivated and have fun, but you have less of a choice at that point. Like there's a lot of stuff that you have to do because you've started a bit later. But like
but even then,
no, it's got to be fun.
I mean, even then, like when I'm teaching that kind of material, like if I'm doing some kind of test prep or something, it might be the driest thing, like because memorization tends to be the best type of work for test prep.
Right.
But still, if you're charismatic, right, you can make that experience that the kids can like we're in this together, and that's terrible. We have to do this, but we're gonna do it together. That's important too. So charisma is something I'm kind of looking for. I'm definitely looking for. It's really important, and it's not trainable.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's unfortunate when you do have to tell a teacher like you need to be more likable.
Right.
But it is something you have to do for their sake.
Right.
And for your business.
Right.
You know, and I've only had to usually never say like be more likable, but there are little things you have to talk about with character.
Right.
And you want to minimize that discussion with teachers. So honestly,
it's better to choose wisely.
I'm not saying like grammar is not important, and like you know where they went to school is not important, but but I will take a fun kid from a community college that is, you know what I mean, over like some dry Harvard teacher that just, you know.
No, exactly, because I mean, Cindy and I always talk about this too. It's like you can teach someone how to teach. That is totally teachable.
Yeah.
You cannot teach someone how to be charismatic.
Absolutely.
You can't teach someone how to be fun. You can help them be a little more fun, but I mean, if it's not in their character, it's not in their character.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I guess that's the first thing. How about,
So the first thing is like when you're talking to them, you're trying to gauge like, well, what I do is when I'm interviewing that person, if they can hold a conversation with me, they've already passed some kind of test.
Yeah.
Because I have interviews with people where I'm just asking them questions and they're just like, yes, no.
Right.
And I'm, okay.
Yeah,
like
so
if I can't talk with you, then
I ask a bunch of questions.
Yeah.
I had an interview class a long time ago when I was in college, and I had a couple little tiny like management classes or interview classes that they really did, the little things kind of helped a little bit.
What are some of the little things?